So I was just kind of going through like some of these vlogs and I really wasn't knowing what I was gonna talk about. But lately, God has just kind of been like, tell them that this relationship is super real. Like I'm here, I'm invested in people. Like I want to be included in their lives, just like, I wanted to be in your life, but you were super hard-headed and you never, you know, wanted to budge, but I waited because, I love you. So this blog was called He Gave You Power, and I wrote it like October of 2014. I said, I'm so tired of seeing people I love and care about being used by the enemy and robbed of their joy and power. When we were living in sin, we had no opposition from our enemy. He was okay with us not communicating with God. Why would he bother you if you're not walking in the power given unto you? Because it's like, you know, if you're distracted by something, he's cool. He doesn't, his MO is being, you know, what's the word I want to use? Undertaken. Like distraction is everything. Like just distract them from God, distract them from the power he gave you, like that. He has you right where he wants you, hopeless, alone, scared, and walking in your own will, trying to make your own decisions, thinking that like you know how to get out of this better, or I know a better way, and I know I'm probably the only one again who has ever been like, nah, God, I got this. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. It's really, really mad for a long time. And in the blog, I say, I seen one of my girlfriends get used by the enemy the other night, and it was one of the saddest things I had to witness. I love this girl. She is more like a little sister than anything to me. I seen her act out her rage and dismiss the God given authority to strike things down. Picture this: on Monday, she got used, Tuesday, it happened again, and Wednesday, it hit the fan. The devil was mad that she went to Bible study on Wednesday and got a little bit of her strength back. He took every ounce of joy from her, and she was no longer the same person. She was attacked regarding her relationship with God by a family member. And I'm just going to pause right there because people want to put restrictions on how you should have a relationship with God. Now, only you and God know whether you're keeping him in the loop with everything. Like if you're keeping it 100, I absolutely keep it 100 with God. I am not perfect. I still like to cuss from time to time, depending upon who I'm around, because sometimes I feel like, you know, cussing just enhances the story and probably makes it seem funnier. But, again, it's something I got to work on. But your relationship with God is your relationship with God. My relationship with my children is my relationship with my children. It's not going to dictate how they interact with other people. I could, and I do at this moment, like me and my daughter are beefing, and it's not super bad beef, but I get it. She expected more of me and from a situation, and she saw me get hurt, so she's disappointed in the choice that I have made. And I get that, but at the end of the day, I'm a grown woman, and you know, that's just it. Like I'm a grown woman, and my children, I have adult children, and they are able to make their own decisions as adults that no one can question. And how I feel is how I feel, and I've always told my children that how they feel is, always important. But like that just goes back to the relationship that you have with God, and are you really like whatever you're doing with God is what you're doing with God. And people, might be like, oh, well, this is how I'm supposed to, have a relationship. Well, that's great. Have your relationship with God that way. But, my relationship with him is my relationship with him. So when I'm talking about your relationship with God, that's like my relationship with God, like that's me and him, and I think to me that's the most painful thing when someone wants to critique your relationship with somebody else. And in the blog I said, which in my eyes is the most painful, and she took that into her home, and like she took a family member into her home and she prayed for her constantly. I told her this fight is not carnal, but she was not hearing it. She was a completely different person. The rage consumed her, and there was no stopping her. I stood back and went back in time to when I went through the same thing, when I didn't want to hear anything that pertained to God and the truth. I don't care. I did not care to hear anything about Jesus at one point in my life. Like, take that Bible toting, holy rolling attitude somewhere, because that it's fake, and we'll talk about Jesus being a scam later. Not really a scam, but people perceiving him to be a scam. We can choose to stop, but that may be easier said than done. When you're on your way to 10, like, how do you stop? When do you end the nothingness that is about to overtake you? Are you okay with having no control? When is enough enough? And I don't think most people, I'm okay, not most people, me. If I am going on that escalator to like 10, there would be no stopping me. There's nothing in my mind, because if I didn't have a relationship with God, that would say, you know what, this isn't right. Maybe you shouldn't pop off on someone. Me, my fleshly me would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give this person exactly what they came for, because I didn't send for them, but they came for me, so I'm gonna give them something. I said the aftermath was my friend being so sick inside, and when the condemnation from the same entity that made her pop off set in, it was a whole different story. I said, all right, something is wrong with this picture. God is a God of love, patience, forgiveness, mercy, grace, and most importantly, second chances. God definitely gives way more than second chances, and I can testify to that because, I've burned through like a lot of chances. And a lot of people have given up on me, and he has never, ever once given up on me. I think it is hard for a parent to teach their child proper mannerisms and then watch them act like donkeys, but I totally understand the kickback of, the donkey action when you have no parental guidance, to instruct you on how you conduct yourself in the world. And I just went on to say in the blog that God gave you authority over everything on this earth, and to not walk in that is a waste of a great gift, like a super, super great gift. I love my friend, and it hurt me to see her like that. We talked, and I told her to go back to God and ask for forgiveness and pray for him to work on her. She did, and when I saw her again, I seen how much better she felt to admit her wrongs and brush them shoulders off. Like, okay, God, I've been carrying this. This is what happened. Give it to him, and then when you're done, you just be like, okay, we're good. Shoulders brushed off. Sometimes it's what you do after the test that's what's looked at. Like, if you fail a test, and there's a lot of scenarios in the world where you'll go through situations and you'll be tested. Does God like maliciously say, oh, let me test someone? No, but he allows situations to prove that you have matured, and you are super loyal to him. So I don't think that God has ever tested me, but he's allowed me to go through some things, and me flip that and be like, God, I trust you more than anything. I don't know anything about what is about to happen or what's going on, and so it's not per se just the situation, but what happens afterwards, just coming to him and keeping it real. There's power in praise and forgiveness. I don't know, because no one really told me ever about this, but like, the name of Jesus has so much power, it's not even funny. It definitely changes like situations, the atmosphere, like the energy, everything. And that's just his name. But when you just start thanking God and praising him for his goodness, you no longer focus on whatever is you're going through or whatever is happening. You can really reflect in the power that he has given you to be called a child of God, and to walk in this continual, existence with him. Like, in my dreams, God's there. During the day, God's there. In my thoughts, God's there. God is everywhere. And I just like to show him in my actions. So am I perfect? No. And I've said it time and time again. There's still some things that I have to work on. But he gave me power to overcome certain things. Like, I should be at a certain level in my life where I don't let the things that used to get me like 10 years ago get me now, or my mindset is not the same. It's a continual maturity thing that happens here. The scriptures that I used were 2 Timothy 1-7. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. And you got the power to shut those things down in your mind. Love to know that you are never alone, you are never forsaken, you are never by yourself, and the ability to check ourselves. Like, I'm not gonna do what you think I'm gonna do type of scenario. The next scripture I used was John 1:12. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. And this is like such a beautiful thing, because you're believing on like his name. Like, you just believe his name, and things start to like happen. God starts to move. Like, oh, okay, I see you are real about this walk, so I'm gonna let you know that there's a lot of things that are in you that are not like me, and we're gonna have to work through them. And I think that's so, so, so beautiful that he is willing to work with his children to get them to a point where he's like, I'm super well pleased. Luke 10:19, behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and power and all of the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. That took a long time to get there. Like, for me, like super long time, to where I wasn't afraid of anything. I was always afraid I was going to die and my life was going to be horrible, because, I had a horrible beginning, and, just anxiety plagued me, and I was super depressed all of the time. And it was hard because I did it by myself. Like, I didn't have a support system, but God taught me like the truth. Like, I created you. I had this divine, thing planned out, and I'm always with you. And, like I said, time and time again, I'm super stubborn, and, I just don't listen right away. And I drag my feet a lot. But I've gotten a lot better in the years, and I can only say that I have gotten a lot better in my walk because I trust God more. I acknowledge him more. I've seen him do miraculous things in my life. So there's no reason for me to doubt him. And if he tells me, like, I got you, I believe that with everything. I don't know where you are in your walk today, but, I'm always going to just suggest that you holla at God.